All right. How are you? Greetings to all. Welcome to Tocsin Magazine's the Everything Old Skool Podcast. Your lead interviewer is not here, but I will, Shanique Bird, shout out to you. But I'm Marquise Merrill, and I will be holding this interview. And we have the pleasure and the blessing of Miss Kym Hampton for being a guest. And for all of y'all who might not know, she's a WNBA legend, and we're going to get into that. So I want to give you a hand. Thank you, Kym,
Yeah,
for for spending time with a mongrel like me. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Like I said,
That's
I'm a
good.
little tired, running around. We get up early because my daughter has morning workouts. But and then we just got finished doing one this evening. So just now we're just getting back in. So yeah, burning the candle at both ends, but I'm good.
I,
Blessed.
I thank you so much. So baby girl, what's her name?
Her name is Ariel Jackson, and you can follow her on Instagram at isofamari, and that's ISOFAMARI. It might be 34 under that. Yeah, but
Okay.
I'm not
Is,
for sure.
is that the number she wears?
Yeah, she wears my
Okay.
number. She wears my
Now,
number.
now, since we're talking about basketball, so I'm assuming you've been playing ball for since since you were your daughter's age.
No, actually, I started as a freshman in high school. She's been playing since maybe fourth grade.
Oh, okay. So you what they call a late bloomer.
Of course. Yep.
So let me ask you this, because when you started, there wasn't a professional basketball league for women, were there?
Not at all. No, it really wasn't. Um, Gosh, I played in Europe for 12 years before they started the professional league. So I came in as a true seasoned veteran when they started the WNBA.
Oh wow, in Europe. Where in Europe did you play?
6 years in Spain, 4.5 years in Italy. I played 1 year in Japan and 1 year in France.
Now, because I know you a bad girl. You went to Arizona, University of Arizona.
Arizona State.
Oh, Arizona State. Tell us a little bit about your college career, because I know you held some scoring titles, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah, I'm still the currently after over 30 years or more. I'm still the all-time leading scorer and rebounder, male or female, in the history of the school. But it was tough. I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky, and I just wanted to get away and go away to school somewhere. And I don't know what made me go there, but I guess that saying is true that God always has a way of making you end up where you need to be. And I had a great college career. My college coach was on the '76 Olympic team, and she was the co-captain with Pat Head Summit. And it was tough. It was hard. It was going from just learning how to play the game in high school, with a lenient coach to go and then going to college playing for an Olympian. So it was tough mentally, physically, emotionally, but I stuck it out, and I had some great accolades from that, All American a couple years, and I would always make the conference, teams and things like that, first teams, and um, and again, like I said, the scoring titles at one point, I think I had over 40 school records. For my
40?
freshman, yeah, 40, yeah. Like from your freshman year, like freshman who averaged the most, freshman with the best field goal percentage, freshman with the best, most attend, like, so all of the stats that you could potentially have, as a freshman, and throughout my career, I came through and, kind of rocked those a little bit. The ones I really didn't mess with was probably like assists and things like that. But, more of like the guard positions. But it was really good. It was tough. It taught me a lot of lessons. Gosh, lessons like, when you think you've given your all, there's always more. And then it taught me like true honesty. See, I could have easily quit and decided I wanted to go home because the going was tough and she was pushing me and pushing me, and it was really uncomfortable. But, you know, I had to learn, wow, is there some truth to what she's saying, that I'm not working as hard as I think I am, and that I can give a lot more. And, so it made me look at myself and just say, what are you scared of? Well, why don't you just try it? Why don't you try getting in great shape, giving it a shot, giving your best and giving your all and see where it takes you. And so once I decided to do that and to stop taking, things personal, taking, her yelling at me personal, things just started to really turn around for me.
She cared about you. She saw something in you that you probably didn't see at that time.
Yep.
And I tell the young kids all the day. Well, I've been saying this a lot. Well, for many years, that basketball and life, you can learn a lot about life through basketball,
They're
through sports
interchangeable.
in general.
They're interchangeable. Exactly. It's a tight correlation between the lessons that you learn in life, because you can carry them over to the lessons, and the lessons you learn through the game of basketball, you can carry them over in life. And it's not just basketball, it's athletics. I mean, just everyday life is, it's just, yeah, it's the same pretty much.
I agree, and I'm glad you said that, because for any younger lady that's listening and they might be going through something, thinking their coach don't like them or they got something against them. No, you're just being pushed for your better. Don't take it personal. I'm glad you said that.
Hmm.
That's very important. So, what made you start playing in the ninth grade? I mean, that's kind of.
Well, one of my friends, she always played basketball. She played basketball when we were in middle school, and she was really good. And then, she just kept asking me to play. And then the high school coach asked me to play because I was 6 feet tall at the time. And, my brother was like, yeah, you probably should play. So just that, those three. And then I was like, well, okay, kind of.
And you look like a model. You don't look like a ball player. You look like a model.
Hey.
Hey, and you sing, but we ain't gonna go there now. Well,
Yeah, I
so
think
I'm
we should
sorry.
definitely, I said we should work all of our angles and our gifts.
I agree. When you found out there was a WNBA, how did you feel?
Well, I knew that there was going to be a WNBA a year before it happened, because as I mentioned, I was in Europe playing, and the ABL started in America before the WNBA. So it was kind of like half of that 96 Olympic team went and played for the ABL league, which started first. And then the other half, like Lisa Leslie, Rebecca Lobo, Ruthie Bolton, Cheryl Swoops, and all those guys, they played in the WNBA. So my agent, I was approached by a couple of the girls in Europe to see if I wanted to play in the ABL league, and they were offering six-figure contracts, and you're playing. And so I called my agent immediately, and I was like, "Hey, Bruce, I was like, yeah, yeah, I, just got offered to play." And he was like, "No, no, no, don't do that. Don't sign anything." I'm like, "Why?" I said, "A chance to play in America, and stuff." And he was like, no, he said, because he said, you can't say anything yet. He said, but the NBA is going to restart in the league, the WNBA. And I was like, are you sure? He said, like, of course I'm sure. And so I stuck it out and waited for that. And so they sent an agent, excuse me, they sent a scout over. Her name was Renee Brown. And she came over. And so she was just, going from game to game, just in different leagues, and, just looking at the players that had been in Europe playing for several years. And so I'm looking for my fan. It just got hot. You're trying to keep the noise down with the air conditioner off, but all of a sudden I'm like, oh. But
Thinking
so yeah, so she came over and saw our game and everything, and so myself and my teammate, we played extremely well, and so we found out we were going to be drafted in the elite draft. And so the elite draft was the draft where Lisa Leslie, Rebecca Lobo, like the Olympians and the stars were. And so I was blessed and fortunate enough at the age of 35, to and the late bloomer that I was, to be a part of that, the elite draft. And so I was
where were
drafted.
you playing at
Huh?
that time? Where were you playing at that time? Which
In
country?
Italy. In Italy. Yeah, I was in Italy. Yep, I was in Italy. And so we were at practice, and we knew they were going to call on a particular day and at a particular time. So we were at practice, and my coach's phone rung. And so he stopped practice and answered. And he's like, here, Kym, So I went over. And so they were saying, Kym, you ready to find out where you were drafted to? And I was like, yeah. And so you're going to New York. And I was like, okay. They were like, well, you don't sound too happy. I'm like, I am, I just, I'm just not that type of person like, yay, because you don't really know what to expect. It's the beginning of a league and, you really didn't know. But with my hindsight now, there's nothing like playing in a big market. So I know that I was super blessed to have ended up in New York.
Indeed, when most people's career ends, yours started,
Oh, I know.
so to speak.
Yep, true that. Yep.
So tell us about your WNBA career with the New York Liberty. We're talking to Kym Hampton for those who might have just turned in from the WNBA. Tell us your history with them and being the first one to score a basket, because you're a legend and nobody can take that from you.
Yeah. When I got drafted, I knew some of my teammates. I had played against them overseas, and so we were excited. We didn't know what to expect. We were all giddy, excited to finally have professional basketball in America for women. But I remember our coach. She was a college coach. Her name was Nancy Darsh, but she recently passed. So rest in peace. But I think, she kind of felt like her team was old, because we were truly the oldest team in the league. And we just had a lot of veterans, myself, Sue Wicks, Teresa Weatherspoon. I mean, Rebecca Lobo was fresh out of college. But other than that, and maybe a couple of other players, but other than that, we were veterans. But it was good. It was like we had a lot of camaraderie and we were competitive. I mean, you weren't going to come in our house and just do whatever you wanted to do. We had defensive pride together, and we fought together, and I had some great teammates: Vicki Johnson, Sophia Witherspoon, Teresa Weatherspoon. Like I said, Rebecca Lobo. I mean, I can go down the list, and everyone was a competitor, and everyone came out and worked hard. So we ended up winning our first 7 games. And we had to play our first 7 games on the road because we were owned by Madison Square Garden, and the New York Knicks as well as the New York Rangers were in the playoffs. So they were playing alternating nights. The Knicks would play, Monday, then the Rangers would play on Tuesday, the Knicks would play, in the playoffs. You know how that goes. So we had to play our first 7 games on the road, and we were 7-0, and everything. And so that was truly just wonderful. No, actually, yeah, maybe, yeah. But and then we went to the championship game and we didn't win. And the first year of the WNBA, it was just a single elimination. You
What
know,
year?
yeah, that was 1997. So it was a single elimination games for the semifinals as well as the finals. So we barely squeaked by Phoenix to get to the finals to play against Houston. And yeah, we just just didn't, like my teammates, like we just couldn't put the ball in the hole. I think it was a really low scoring game. I think it was like we scored like maybe 53 points or something like that. So it was really tough because we should have won that first one. And we didn't make it back the second year. We lost. I think we got knocked out. And and then we made it back my third year. And that's when my knee started kind of just wearing down a little bit. So I decided I needed to have surgery on it. So I had a scope on it. And, I was able to recover pretty fast. And my teammates tried to talk me into coming back for one more. They were like, oh my gosh, you're good. You're perfect. And I was like, okay. But 3 days into training camp, my knee just swelled up, and it was just kind of like, yeah, no, we're not going to do this anymore. So, ultimately I just had to retire because the doctor said, okay, you can have another scope. I can get you ready. You could be back in about 6 weeks. But the same thing's going to happen because there's the number one, the WNBA season is thrown, it's like a 34, 36, 37 game a season game. And it's thrown into like 3.5, maybe 4 months. Training camp is this, it's only like 3 weeks. And so it's just not enough recuperation time for that type of wear and tear, that type of injury. So ultimately, I just had to retire, and it was really, really tough for me because, it was like imagine doing something every day of your life from high school, and then all of a sudden one day you can't do it. Oh my God, I was just having withdrawals, just not traveling with the team. And you have all this time on your hands during the day. And, it's just you go to the games and you're talking to your teammates and you're helping them, and I'm telling them how to play a particular person defense. And, you guys got to get back. I'm going in the locker room before and after the games talking to them. And, so it was just really, really tough to kind of that part, to detach myself from that part of my life. And and so as the years went on, it was a little bit easier and a little bit easier. So
How long did you play for, all altogether, including overseas?
well, everything was about 23, 24 years, something like that. Yeah.
So that's not including college?
Yeah, that's including everything, but professionally I played 15.
Wow, 25 years, and then all of a sudden you just can't do it no more. That
Yeah.
must have been withdrawal.
Yeah, that was pretty tough. Yep.
Is there really a big difference between college and pro? Is the difference mostly mental?
No,
Is the talent level really that different?
oh my God. Oh, the talent level is incredible. I mean, the talent level, on any given night, and that's with any professional league, on any given night, the worst place team can beat the first place team if the first
Mhm.
place team isn't coming to play. Um, you look at, you look at the Knicks and how they were able to turn it around. You look at the Hawks, Atlanta, how they were able to turn it around. We're talking teams that were scraping the bottom of the barrel, but you find a coach that can pour into a team and everyone buys into a system. And then all of a sudden now the Knicks make the playoffs, so it's the same thing. It's yeah, with the difference between college and professionally is on at college, you can pretty much, if you're a good team, you can look down your schedule and you can say, okay, that's a win, that's a win, that's a win. Okay, we're gonna have that's gonna be a tough game, that's whatever. You can kind of call that. But every night you have to show up and play because everyone that you play against is just as fast, quick, tall, athletic. They
You
shoot
mean the
just as
pros?
shoot. Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
yeah, okay. I always wondered if the talent was really different, or if it was because college people go to pros, so you're playing the same people for
Yeah,
the
but
most part. But that's my ignorance. I didn't know.
It's not because so say for example, every year college players come into the league and they're playing against veterans, seasoned veterans that have been doing it for a long time. And so where they might not be as impactful because it is a learning curve, it is a playing curve. Like it's only even if you look at the NBA side, there's only been a few players that can just really come right into the league and just be like instant impact, like LeBron James was, for example, or Michael Jordan was. There's a handful of players, but for the most part, people, have to kind of, just kind of get used to that, get used to the size and the speed of the game and the athleticism and just the talent of the game.
Makes sense. Do you remember the play that was ran? Because, like I mentioned earlier, you scored the first 2 points for the New York Liberty, right?
Hmm. I
Ever.
don't
Do you
remember.
remember how
Yeah,
that happened?
I don't remember the play, but the ball came on the inside, and and I looked over my shoulder and I saw I had a step on her, so I went to the other side and laid it in and got fouled. So
And one,
yeah, well, I missed my free throw. I was a little nervous, but I missed my free throw. But yeah, anyway.
one of the best times of your life,
Oh,
or
definitely.
best feelings.
Yeah, definitely. And just to know, and this year is the 25th anniversary of the WNBA. So,
Wow, going
just to
so
have been,
fast.
yeah, just to have been a part of that, it's just been amazing.
How do you feel about the way the game is today? Well, the 3 pointers, and
Oh,
you appreciate that?
girls dunking. Girls are explosive and athletic. It is, for those of you watching, if you haven't had the opportunity to check out a WNBA game, please, please, please. The New York Liberty are playing at the Barclays Center, and I am telling you, it is thunder. These girls are doing the damn thing. I just look at the talent, and then, when you look at them and their stories are so great, they're so talented, and They do so many things. So it's just amazing to see. And I'm just so proud to to have been a part of the beginning and just to see how it's evolved and just how it's going to continue to evolve.
Yes, indeed. So you don't have a problem with them playing outside in instead of inside out now? If shooting 500 threes a game, figuratively
Well,
speaking.
this is what I know.
Uh-huh.
Almost gone is the true five position because for whatever, well, because of I believe because of the Euro influence, number one. And even if you look at the European players that come into both leagues, NBA, WNBA, a lot of those players are fundamentally sound. So they can face up, they can shoot the three, they can put the ball on the floor, they can drive. So almost gone, and although you have some players that will post up, but it is such a guard oriented game now. The guards are shifty, they're behind the back line, they're getting to the basket. The three ball is going further and further away from the basket. So there are just not a lot of really, really good post players to the point to where coaches would probably run their offenses through that player. But there are some teams that rely on that because you have the Vegas team, the Aces. They have Liz Cambridge, she's 6'8", and then they have why did I just go Asia? What's her last name? Asia. I just went blank. But she and she's another great post player, and she's out of South Carolina. And so
Mhm.
like it just depends on personnel, but I think a lot of teams are just looking to have people that can just kind of play that 4 or 5 swing position, but are more mobile and get up and down the court. But size still matters.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think most coaches, I think they're following, they're not leading, because I don't know why you're letting almost your play. He or she is 7 feet. Why are you tolerating her or him shooting 89 threes a game and they missing 6 or 7 of them? You miss one or two, go back, go on the block. That's just me thinking. So everybody is following, they're not leading. I I wouldn't want my center shooting 6 3 pointers. I
Well,
wouldn't.
you know, um, I mean, I get that, and again, that's just that's your mentality because you do have a old school mentality, but you have to look at the way the game is going, how the game is going. They want a lot of teams play, 4 out. Some teams play 5 out. Some teams run in motion, where everyone gets to shoot or be near the basket, but they want to keep the ball moving a lot so that people can drive, so that people can cut through the lane and things like that. So it's just, it's just the way the game has just changed and how it's evolved.
Right. And you know what else I noticed?
Hmm.
Nobody follows this shot anymore. It's
Yeah.
one shot and everybody goes down
One
the
and
court.
done. Yeah, it's like if they make it, they cheering. If they miss, they're running back on defense. So yeah, those things. But and those things are still just great habits to have. But
Fundamentals.
yeah, but again, it goes back to coaching, and not everyone was fortunate enough to be raised with a coach that taught all of those great fundamental skills. So
I agree. Now, is there anyone? Are you friends with Lisa Leslie and those other players?
yeah, I know them. I mean, we're not friends to the point where I'm calling her every now and then or we're checking in, but whenever we see each other, it's like, hey, we give each other a hug, and things like that. But it was Asia Wilson is what who I was mentioning in her last name. Um,
Okay. So when you were playing, we talking to Kym Hampton, formerly of the New York Liberty. Was there anyone that you didn't want to face? And on the flip side, was there anyone like you wanted to face? Like, I know I'm getting 30 and 10 tonight.
Nah, I never looked at players like that. I mean, I just looked at more of it as a team type of thing. Like if we knew we were going to play LA, we had our hands full because there was Lisa Leslie, there was like Penny Toller, there was, Tamika, um, uh,
Catching, is it?
No, Tamika Catchings, no, she plays for and she played for Indiana, and she came she came a little bit after me. But Tamika Dixon, I mean, and they just had a lot of really, really good players. They were always super competitive. um and we knew whenever we played against Cleveland, we had to bring, but you had to bring it every night. But
Right.
some teams were just, we knew were going to be just more to deal with. I mean, you look at Houston, they were going to be more to deal with than some of the other teams. So yeah.
Are you still involved with the league in any way?
Yeah, actually, I work on a freelance basis with the New York Liberty still in community relations. And so that's kind of like an ambassador position. They'll call me and reach out to me if if they, um, have an appearance for me to do. So I might go to a school and speak. Because of COVID, I haven't been going to schools, but I've been doing virtual events, virtual talks, and things like that with them. And as things begin to open more and more now that COVID is making its way out, we're going to be doing a lot more things out in the community so that we can help to build the fan base. So yeah, so I do that, and then I'll do some things with the league office as well. So
And if there's anything that I could help with, I'll volunteer if you ever need any outside help or whatever.
oh,
So you always been there for me. I'll try to return the favor if I can. I'll volunteer my time somehow.
okay, all
So
right.
you can keep that in your mind. Do you have any advice for any young ballers
You know what I would say?
that want to
You
come
got
up?
to put that time in. You got to separate yourself from the pack. See, a lot of my friends that played the game and they're now coaches and they coach at colleges and universities and things. A lot of them, like the MO for players that play in New York, like Northeastern basketball, is it's a lot of dribbling too much. Kids
Mhm.
aren't in shape. They don't take the time and run and get in good condition. A lot of kids on the East, New York kids aren't known to be shooters. And then, like the game is just helter skelter, like it's scrambled eggs. It's not patient basketball. It's not high IQ basketball. It's just flashy, it's behind the back through the legs, and then you get to the basket, and things like that. And that's good and fine. But that's not going to happen on a collegiate level. So if I had to say do anything, definitely work on your ball handling skills, but work on that shot and bring back that mid-range shot too, because
Mm.
it's not, a lot of teams live and die by the three ball, and if you're not on, you got to find other ways to score. If not, you're shut down. I look at the Nets, and it's kind of crazy because geez, like that first game, they looked good. I mean, oh my gosh, they were making everything, but I can't guarantee that the whole series is going to go like that. And so you're going to have to find other ways to score. So definitely. And then if you can become a student of the game so that you make better decisions out there on the court, that always helps. So conditioning, working on your shooting, and just learning to make, better decisions out on the court, becoming a student of the game. And of course, you always do the best you can academically. And, you make good decisions off the court as well. When you're hanging out, if you have goals, just know you can't do what people who don't have the same goals do. So if you're trying to go to college, then your path might be a little bit different. You might see everybody, hey, dap everybody down, but you got to kind of keep it moving. And your body needs rest. If you're putting your body mentally and physically through the ringer because of school, because you're a student athlete, you're going to have some downtime and just really get some rest because your body needs to recuperate. So that would be what I would say.
Great advice, because a lot of young people think, well, I'll be all right. I can do it. I'll be all right. So that's great advice. So I want to thank you for, because I know you had a long day. But before you go, I have something that's called 10 for 20.
Okay.
It's 10 questions that you can answer in 20 seconds, hopefully.
Okay.
They're basically one word
Okay.
answers.
Okay.
Now I know, there you go. That's right. You're ready. I know you had a long day and night. You ready?
Yep.
Singing or basketball?
Singing now.
Okay, now, okay, very specific. Offense or defense? What did you enjoy
Wow.
most?
Of course, offense is more fun, but I was good at defense. But offense is fun. Yeah, offense.
Old school movies or old school music?
Old school music.
Would you rather be loved or respected?
I would rather be Jesus loved.
Loved?
Yes,
Okay,
because with love comes respect. So I would rather be loved.
okay. Would you prefer to block a shot or get a steal?
Get a steal.
Do you like today's game or back then?
Back then,
What was your free throw percentage?
it's probably about a 75.
Okay, favorite female player?
Oh golly. Oh Jesus,
It
too
could
many.
be then or now.
There now. I'm just gonna say, she's injured this year, but I'm gonna say Angel McCautry.
Oh, she's a bad girl. She's been in the league forever, seems like.
Yeah, well,
Favorite,
she's getting towards the end, but she's a bad girl. Yeah.
favorite male player?
Favorite LeBron.
Oh, yeah. So, favorite team, male and female?
New York Liberty.
Okay, what about the male? Good answer. The Knicks?
Uh, uh, nah, not the Knicks. I like the Lakers.
Okay, well, at least you're a true fan because they're
Yeah,
not in it.
yeah.
Well, I want to thank you again. You don't feel like giving the people a little sample of your beautiful voice. Not tonight.
What am I singing?
Whatever you sing best.
Oh God, I can't think of anything. You're gonna have to help me. Um, uh, no, that's kind
Well,
of.
we talking to Kym Hampton from the WNBA, formerly of the New York Liberty. For people who just might have came in, anything, just give me 10 seconds.
So you remember when the radio used to go off? They would always end it with, "There I go, there I go, there I go, there I go.
Yes, indeed.
Pretty baby, you are the soul that snaps my control.
Hmm.
Such a funny thing, but every time I'm near you, I never can behave. You give me a smile, and then I'm wrapped up in your magic. Music all around me, crazy music, music that keeps calling me so very close to you." All right.
Effortlessly. That sounded good, and you didn't even prepare yourself. Any shows coming up or any appearances?
Um, I am getting ready to start because again, as things start to open up and the capacity, venues are allowed to engage in more, more capacity. I'm definitely looking to set something up. So I will definitely. You can follow me on Instagram. For example, it's I am Kym Hampton, and you can follow me on Twitter. That's Kym Hampton as well. Facebook, Kym Hampton, KYM Hampton. And
Right.
so I'll definitely be posting when I'm going to be doing some things. And I've been doing this prior to COVID. I had been doing a tribute to Nancy Wilson. So I've had some great success with that. I mean, I've sold out shows, having to add shows, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
just
in New
really,
York.
yeah, it's been really fun to just learning and listening to, what she did as an artist, and, singing some of her tunes, and things like that. So it's been really, really great. So I'm looking forward to even getting back into that as well. So
Sounds good. The multi-talented Kym Hampton. Well, again, I want to thank you for being a part of Tocsin Magazine's the Everything Old Skool Podcast. Thank you for your love. You're a woman of your word. You've always been there. And if I can ever help you in any way, just give me a call,
thank you
and
so
I'll
much.
do my best. Thank
Uh,
you so much, and continued success to you.
Thank you. And thank you all for tuning in. Thank you.
All right. You have a good night.
You too. Bye bye.